Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam Wolf, and we're back in Final Fantasy XIV. We've finished 7.2, the main scenario quest, so we're going to be working on... the new gear. Just realized how loud this was. Let's bring that back down. We're probably going to bring this down to 25%, just given the fact that we're going to be grinding. So, probably going to put some music on instead. Yeah, so the new gear set, we've already looked over it. It's going to take a while, which is fine, because that's what endgame is all about. I'm fairly certain that Jeremy is not on, so I don't believe we'll be doing anything with my bard this evening. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta send Jess that clip of what happened the other night, which is hilarious on Helldivers 2. Okay, if I remember it correctly, the last time we were working on putting materia in everything, and we did. We pretty much got everything covered as best as we could. Now, what exactly am I going to be grinding? That's a good question. I could just go with the expert, but the problem is, of course, as you know, it will probably choose one of the ones that I don't like, ranging from Alexandria, Tender Valley, Strayborough, Deadwalk, Field Station, and the Underkeep. Sad part is that these, because they are no longer the main, like, they're not up there with the Field Station, strangely enough. I thought this would actually be with these, but you can see these only give 20 apiece. So, I would get 20 from doing those, I think, and then I would, of course, get 40, which would be 60, but I just don't, these are not, they're not good. I don't like them. I don't like the bosses, mainly. Field Station, as you guys know, I grind that all the time. The Underkeep wasn't terrible. Still not as good as the Field Station, because I know the Field Station, like, backwards and forwards. And I haven't actually reached the cap at all, like, for this new currency. So, I think we're just gonna work on that. I am going to turn off the BGM. Okay, I'm gonna fire up, not that. I got mouse and keyboard hooked up now, so, it's easier to control. I think we're gonna fire up the old Final Fantasy XV. Okay. Fire up the old Final Fantasy, or ye old Final Fantasy XV. Soundtrack. I'm sure you guys are real sick of seeing this frickin' dungeon. I'm sick of doing it, but it's the fastest way still. Like, it's less than 5-minute average wait time, so still the fastest way that I know how to get the currencies for this gear. That would be this gear up here. Yep. I don't like the look of this gear, though. I can already tell I'm not going to like the look of it. Oops. Why did they make it look so bad? Why can't it look like one of these? You know, like the Cloud Dark. I mean, hell, the Dark Horse looks pretty dope. Look at that. It looks sick. Why can't I look like one of these? No, the new stuff has to look, dumb. Alright. Now, it hasn't been an entire week. I did play with Jeremy on Sunday when I went to his house, so... But I wasn't playing my summoner, so... This is gonna take a second to get back into the swing of things here. I don't want to do anything right now. Okay, fine. I want to wait till he gathers up everybody. And then we hit the thing. We do the thing with the thing. Now that I have a keyboard, I can just type away. I keep forgetting it's L2. L2, you dummy. Wrong button. I hit the wrong one using Ifrit too. Again, I'm doing it again. You'd think I would be used to this whole setup by now. And I'm not. Because I'm acting like a dum-dum. I'm not gonna waste Phoenix on this. He's dead. We got 15 tomestones of heliometry there. I actually didn't know you got those when you defeated a boss. So nice of them to leave me behind. I always wanted to be left behind by my friends. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know if anybody is looking for this gear, but I don't know why anybody bothers hitting the chests at this point if we're not actually running this for gear. This game looks so good on this screen, man. I'll tell you what. It really does. The colors just pop. And the sad part is, I don't think this game has HDR built in. Well, thank you, Chris. I always hope that my makeup will actually show through. It's a rare lipstick brand called Invisibility. Get through all my rotations here. Now I was going to do confusion. Perfect. How are you doing this evening, good sir? By the way, I have dynamic resolution turned on, and it's still, there's some frame drops still, which is crazy to think about. I mean, dynamic resolution can only do so much. It is running at 4K, so it's not like it's gonna be able to just handle everything. I could run it at 1440p, and it actually would do pretty well, I'm sure. The picture would be a little bit softer. I suppose that wouldn't be such a bad thing, but I do like the crispness of 4K. Hey, Jeremy. Oh, this is nothing. I'm not even, like, I know I'm downplaying it. The first time you play it, it is crazy, but it's honestly like, This is the dungeon that I farm for all the new gear because it's the easiest one. Like, legitimately, none of the bosses are really hard. They don't frustrate me. Their mechanics are pretty straightforward. Every other dungeon that I've come across is a nightmare. I wasn't sure if you were going to be on, so I was just like, you know what? I guess I'll work on the new gear. Or getting some of the new gear. Getting the real new gear, I'll have to farm raids, and that's going to take a long time. Why are people grabbing this stuff? We don't need any of this. I mean, if you're grabbing it for freaking glamours, then that's fine. I'm going to be doing the same thing at some point. I wouldn't mind the glamours for this this gear set, but I'm not gonna cast it. I'm gonna save Phoenix for the boss here. Nah, I can't tell you how many times I've done this dungeon. I've lost count. And I never even ended up finishing getting the gear. Like, this is the gear that I was gonna go for. That was, you know, the best gear to farm for, you know, using a dungeon. But you know, the obviously good gear is you want to farm the raids. There is one raid that I could have farmed, but again, it was on Savage difficulty. And I've never done a raid on that difficulty. This is the camera all the way back, bro. Like, what? I do like this dungeon, though. The other dungeons in this group of dungeons, they were just not as good. They were more frustrating than fun. And it's just simply the boss mechanics are just impossible to read or understand. Not impossible, obviously, nothing's impossible, but like they're annoying to try and understand. They're just not fun at all. He's already half health, and he just started this section. That's pretty good. Who's the other guy? Dragoon. Yeah, that makes sense, that he would have more single target damage. But because I know this one so well and I've done it so many times, it's just an easy 50. You know, and it makes it so easy because it is 50. So it's 50 points each time, and that's easy to count, so I know exactly how many times I gotta do this thing in order to get the amount that I need, you know, which is 450. Gotta do it 9 times. Oh, man. Doesn't matter. He died. Which, you know, I mean, the grand scheme of things, because it's generally an average wait time of 5 minutes or less, it's really not, it doesn't take that long. Good, good. Like I said, I guess I wouldn't mind doing the underkeep. That wasn't too bad. I wouldn't mind being used to it, but at the same time, you just get the same number anyway, so why not just do the one that I'm used to, you know? The one that I know goes, like, fast as shit, you know? This takes, like, no time at all to just run through this one constantly. So much water. Tonight was the final night of League. I mean, technically last week was the final night of League, but my team came in 6th. So not bad, not bad. We did see? What was that, a minute? People are looking for this dungeon all the time. I think because it is easy. Like, the other dungeons are so much more complicated with the boss battles. This one is just so much more simple, straightforward. Each boss fight is really easy to read. But it's nice to be fully kitted for once. Like, this is the entirety of the last main gear set, I suppose. Dungeon gear set, I should say. Not raid gear set. And I finally was able to finish all of it. I've got all the accessories. I've got everything materia, although it's not the best materia for each thing. I've got materia and everything anyway. So, you know, there's at least that. You see how quickly we're just killing everything. It's just super easy to farm. Obviously, I could do this for hours, but I can only do it 9 times before it you know, we cap off. Oops. Which, again, is unfortunate. They want to try and keep people coming back and playing their game, but it's like, we're going to play it regardless. I don't know why you have to cap us, but whatever. Dark Knight, and I think there's a Viper. Yeah, doesn't look like a Viper. Actually, I'm going to stand right in the middle here, relatively in the middle, so that way, in case he does go to that side, I can at least make my way over to the other side. Just like that. Pretty much any melee class, DPS melee class, is gonna out DPS me on single target, I think, at this point. No matter what I do, no matter how much more powerful... Shut up, Windows. Go threat yourself. No matter how much more powerful gear I get, or whether I put materia in every slot, it's not gonna matter. The melee classes are just going to be so much more powerful at single target damage than I will. You know, we think that magic is unbeatable at most levels, and it generally tends to be. But I think the only class that actually could stand up against melee classes on single target damage is the frickin' Black Mage. I think that's the only casting class that could actually stand up against them. And possibly beat them. But the Summoner just doesn't put out enough damage. That's a bit of a waste. Can we stop, like, going for that stuff? That is a sick sword, though. Look at that thing. Got a Sage for healer. I like that. He doesn't look like a Viper, though. Viper has way... Maybe he's transmogging. I know. I should probably call it glamorizing, but, you know. Or glamoring. I don't know. It's transmog. Hell? Tank, he's hitting our Sage. Tag the... There we go. Jeez. Can we stop, like, picking this shit up? Oh, I cut a couple corners there. There we go. Dude's doing the spirit bomb. Wish there was like just a pass all or something like that.
Over here.
This dungeon, the only time it becomes difficult is when we do actually have a new person, which has happened a few times recently. And that's when it is actually a very difficult thing to pull off, because the new person just has no idea what they're doing. Which, again, not a problem. I was new once. But it is frustrating that, like, you do it 3-4 times and it's just the same failure every single time, and it's like, dude, you know, you think maybe they'd catch on, right? You think maybe he would have picked it up by then, but they just keep failing, and it's just really annoying. I catch on to a dungeon at least after the second time. Like, I get the majority of what's happening. Like, you'll see me fucking be standing in the spot I need to be standing in almost immediately because I just know it. What? Res. Why the fuck is that? What? What is happening right now? I thought I had that. Healer died. But the Dark Knight took his attention, so maybe the healer can actually kind of like... you know, take care of business here. Like most healers, I don't have to really pay attention too much to them and whether or not they're alive, just because they're usually pretty good. This guy was very good, but he hit the wrong button. I totally get that. Because I can't tell you the buttons I've hit that were wrong. There we go. Tank gets the commendation because he was ridiculous. He held it together. I already have that. If I've already got it, I'm just gonna leave. I don't remember if there's a minion that you can get from this one. I'm assuming there is, but I honestly couldn't tell you. Alright, let's see what... I've turned this on and it's not really helping that much. There's just so much going on. So let's do... Yeah, it's a softer image, more jaggies. I get closer to 60, but I still don't even come close to 60, to be honest. And everything pretty much just smooths out once I start moving. But, like, I think I would rather have the really sharp look of 4K. Yeah. That's clean. That's a clean look right there. Less jagged edges on distant characters and objects. Now, without the dynamic resolution scaling, it kind of sticks around 30, and I could just cap it at 30. It really is no big deal to me. But, strangely enough, there is some weird input latency, but I think it's just I have to get used to the 30 FPS cap, really. I love the fact that they even give us the option. But, I mean, you don't need quick reflexes with a game like this. Just got to get used to the 30 FPS cap, and before long, it's not going to matter. Weird thing about this game, though, there's no motion blur. And I guess you really don't need it with an MMO. Motion blur would kind of just be pointless. But I think it could, dude, I think it would add a lot. Look at that. Look, dude, this is insane. This is how many people came back just for 7.2. And everybody's like, oh, the field station, absolutely easiest freaking dungeon to farm. I bet you that's what everybody's doing right now, is just they're farming for the tombstones. That's just crazy to me. And of course, with the 30 FPS cap, it's more stable. It's a more solid frame rate target, so super stable. No bouncing between frame rates or anything like that. Dude, the healer is actually taking aggro from me and the other DPS, which is a dancer, I believe. Like, holy shit, dude. Sage. Samurai, sorry, not the dancer. That's how much focus the healer got right there. I think I hit it too. I got screwed up because I hit it too many times like an idiot. No joke, listening to this soundtrack has made me want to play Final Fantasy XV. Because like I've said, there's those episodes that I never actually got to play. And there's one episode that I actually still need to purchase. Plus, you know, I've said this for years, but it's a weird feeling that I get, or I guess it's a feeling, whenever I see a game in 30 FPS, you know, and let's say on PC I've maxed the graphics or something, I just think it looks better. Weird, I don't know why. Even though the graphics don't change, it's just simply the frame rate. I don't know, 30 FPS always visually looked more appealing. It's a really strange thing. I can't really explain it. Even though the graphics, you know, in this version of the game, they don't change. They don't change based on, it's just the resolution that changes. I mean, you can enable, you know, low LOD objects, or low detail LOD objects in the distance, or that's what it is. But no, low level of detail objects in the distance, yeah. And, you know, that does affect, obviously, the visual quality of distant objects. Generally stuff you didn't even realize actually got downgraded because you're not paying attention to it. So, it's not a terrible thing to have, but if I'm going to lock it at 30 FPS, then I'm just going to leave everything on. I mean, you could even change the level of reflections in the game from normal to low. I think it's the only two options. But you know, for the console version, they give us a nice hefty amount of options, which is nice to see. Dude, I don't know what that healer is doing to take all the aggro away from me and the other DPS, but good lord, man. There, now the samurai finally took primary, primary aggro, but like, I can't seem to catch up at all. They probably have like the newer gear. That's the only explanation as to why the healer is doing so much more aggro than, or gaining so much more aggro than even the samurai. Who is, samurai is not necessarily, AoE, but I technically should be ahead of both the samurai and especially the healer in aggro as a summoner. But I'm on the old gear set, so it's gonna be a bit before I actually get up there. Nope. I'm surprised I didn't get tagged for that. I literally touched it and it didn't tag me. That's good. I don't want to do that yet. What am I doing? You actually get way more here. Well, that was just heliometry. Yeah, never mind. That's the old gear, currency. Mathematics is what we're going for. But I mean, I didn't realize you get heliometry tomestones from killing bosses. That's different. I don't remember that happening. Otherwise, it would have taken me no time at all. But then again, I wasn't really going for the older one, which is the retired currency. Aesthetics. I had already gotten everything I wanted from that, so I just never paid attention. No, wrong one. I won't lie though, I do kind of like the lower latency, input latency of the uncapped frame rate. Because while I suppose I'll just get used to, you know, the input lag being there, it's not necessarily something I actually like. If I can avoid it. Samurai. Yeah, the consistency is nice, but if they had a better input latency even at 30 FPS, it'd be a little bit better. I'd give it a lot more praise and a lot more thought into using it. But yeah, you can see, watch the pillars in the distance there. Actually, let me use the mouse right here. Watch this. It's subtle. It's a subtle change, but it's there. You can see it. And then when I move forward, boom, that's where it changes right there. But see, that's something that you wouldn't really notice. It's weird too, because like, how is it? I guess it makes sense if it's a rounded off corner, then it would be more polygons to do that. But like, it wouldn't even be something you'd be looking at if you were like, you know, looking at the counter or something like that. It would just change and you wouldn't even notice. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how smart some of their decisions have been for this game. Let's do this one, because I honestly wouldn't mind trying to do this one a couple more times to see what it's all about, you know? I think I definitely died a couple times, or when I first did it. Is it in character? Huh. Inventory interface, normal, expanded, open all. Oh, that's new. I didn't know you could do that. I gotta get this Kraken card used up. Look at that. I can see my whole freaking bag, bro. What about the other one? Expanded. Okay, so now it's only 2 pages instead of 4. Look at how fast I'm getting into these things. Alright. Let's go to the Underkeep, see if I remember anything. Probably not, but I forget where the setting is to where the setting is to increase the camera zoom out, but I'm pretty sure it's all maxed out, so wrong, Adam. Wrong. But that's one area that I can actually really appreciate the work that they put into it, is the dynamic resolution scaling that they put into the game. You wouldn't even notice. Like, you don't notice. Generally, you don't notice. Like, I would say that, yeah, I can see that there is some aspects of the game that I can tell are definitely a little bit lower resolution, you know, to hit that target frame rate. But for the most part, in gameplay, you're not going to notice the reduction in resolution. It's really, really subtle, but very smartly done.
have to deal with it to continue on.
Oh yeah, this guy was kind of a dick. If I can get used to this one, I'll be okay with that. It's something different from the field station. The field station just, man, I've done it so many times. I'm kind of sick of looking at it. Even though it's like super easy. Oh shit. That's the kind of shit that I'm trying to figure out. He looks right at us, and I'm not, it's like there's no indication that he's going to do that. See, even dynamic resolution couldn't help that one. Oh shit. Where is he? Dude, I was like, I didn't see him. And that, now it's like, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, it's, there's no indication until it's like the last second. It's really fucking annoying. See, I understand that now. Now this is a new gear set. I don't know if I need it though. That's the problem. Yes, I do. At least for this. I can replace that ring at least.
Was apparently a constant battle against the rising water level. Even during the war, the people labored to maintain the castle. It meant a lot to them.
It is slightly better.
I think that preservation's terminal is in this place.
I basically just am fighting against the... No, Red Mage. I don't know if Red Mage needs casting. I assume they do, though. So I'm fighting against 2 other players for this stuff. Whether or not I'm actually going to get any of it, I don't know. I hope I do.
So, you have come. Let us measure your strength.
I think I remember this guy being a pain in the dick, too. Shit. Oh, yes, it doesn't matter. No, wrong one. He's almost done. I'm actually surprised that I actually got through that without dying. I got shit on the first time for sure.
You will show me more.
Yeah, this is just better gear overall. What? Why me? I didn't do anything. Go away. Yeah, leave me alone, asshole. Is he going? He's going. Dude's got over 200,000 HP. That's insane, man. I don't think I ever looked at a tank's health before in this game. It's always crazy to me to think about, like, this stuff, like, gear is just incremental once you get up to this level. It's just little steps here and there, but it's, you know, strangely enough, better. Like, I completely forgot this dungeon had a whole new gear set. So while I'm getting this gear set by farming this dungeon, I'm working towards getting the other gear set, which may or may not be as good or better. We'll have to see. It might be a complete waste of time if this gear set is actually the better of the two. And then I can just work on getting this gear set or whatever is in it. Because there have been some dungeons where it's like you get the armor, and then other dungeons where it's like you only get the accessories. That's when you're combining different accessories together. Oh, I didn't want to do that one. Shit. What a waste. Damn it.
You are
Waste of
untroubled
effort.
thus far, but I have something that may test you yet.
Oh yeah, this thing. I have absolutely no idea. It's such a weird boss.
This machine has long guarded these crumbling halls.
But to be fair, the Japanese they have a very unique and weird imagination, so. They decided that we are going to face a slab of stone
How will you
as our
handle
final boss in this. Oh, right. Yeah, this one's a bit of a douche. I'm just gonna try and follow everybody else. Oh, right. It does that. Yeah.
Let us introduce more weaponry.
This is the easiest to dodge. It's hard to see.
Let us see what this is. Perhaps a new approach to assess your adaptability.
Alright, so they're both over there. Oh, no, he's gonna make one here. Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Still alive. How unfortunate. For you to die here, it would save me trouble later.
This one's gonna hit first. Oh, you rat bastard. Alright, they're gonna make one there. And I'm gonna do that. Dude. I'm learning. Oh shit. Nope. That one got me. See what I mean? Dude, I almost made it through that without dying. You fucking asshole, man. No.
I'm beginning to understand how you were able to defeat Queen Eternal.
Good thing I was over here, I guess. I died once, but I shouldn't have died that one time. That was so fucking annoying. Damn. I don't even think I got any of that stuff. Kind of sad. Any of the stuff I needed on, I don't think I got any of it. I got all of it. Let's go. Jeez, I only got 2 points in my item level from three items. I got 2 points. Awesome. Oh man, that's tough. But I think we'll farm that one. That last boss is probably every other boss I seem to get, so that's good. I'm learning the bosses at least, but the last boss is, I think I got the majority of it. I just got dicked on that last one because I wasn't paying attention to where he was looking. So but I need this new gear. And we only got accessories so far, but there was chest pieces and, well, I think there's pretty much a whole gear set in that entire dungeon. Dude, we've been able to pull off a lot of dungeon runs already, and it's like the wait time is so short because everybody's doing it. It's the benefit of being, you know, here. Being at the end with everybody, doing everything that everybody else is doing. And I think that doing this dungeon while, you know, eventually I will hopefully have all the gear that I can get from it. It'll keep it a little bit less monotonous because I'm actually trying to get something from this dungeon as opposed to just running the field station, which is just purely for the tomestones. This I can at least get some gear, and whether or not that gear is going to be better than the tombstone gear, I don't know. You can see I can already get one of these 3 pieces. Just look at that jump. The defense and the magic defense, but the secondary stats. My vitality goes from 331 to 401. Intelligence goes from 352 to 413. So, like, I always had this plan. I'm like, I'm going to get the augmented version of this, and so on and so forth. And then now it's just completely pointless because, you know, this does not beat. I mean, this would definitely be nice because I don't think there's a... Where's the weapon? So in order to get this weapon, I have to have 500 of these plus a universal tombstone 2.0, which is... I get it from, I'm assuming, the new raid. And then I can get the Historia Index. Right. So we go... That cruiser raid, is it? Yep, there it is. So, the Cruiser Hollow Saber. I need 7 of these to get one of these. And I'm assuming... It's gotta be the new raid. Raid Finder? No. I'll figure it out. It's one of the new raids or something. See, the camera just looks so close for some reason. Oh, it's because of that, yeah.
There are beasts ahead of you. They must have gotten in and made themselves at home.
I can't wait for tomorrow because while people did enjoy my cake this evening at bowling, I did come home with some of it, which is nice. My friend Stacy actually took a large chunk of it home because she liked it that much, so that was nice of her. And at the bowling alley, there is one of the owner's grandmother sometimes comes in and helps out. it's mostly just a family-run business, and you know, if they, oh, I didn't want to do that one. That was a mistake. Sometimes if it's a big event like this, where it's high lows and everybody's there, and you know, they get their whole family basically to come in and help. And the grandmother is there more often than not. And I went in to go pack up my stuff, and she's like, that whipped cream was amazing. And I'm like, okay, if grandma approves, then it was good. I think she said she had some of the cake too, but like, she loved the whipped cream. And while I still think that a cup of sugar was a little bit too much, and I probably should have used confectioner sugar rather than granulated sugar, it still turned out really well. A cup was a bit too much, though. Very, very sweet. I think a half cup would have been more than enough. But at the same time, I think I would have actually preferred to use confectioner sugar. It would have combined easier, whereas the granulated sugar has to melt, or at least not melt, but like be dissolve, excuse me, into the heavy cream. So, whereas the confectioner sugar is already powder, so it would just combine immediately. But sugar is sugar is sugar, so I don't think it matters which one I would use, it would still taste the same. Got a warrior tank. That's good. Got a gunbreaker or machinist. Machinist.
You'll have to deal with it to continue on.
Okay, now I want to do single target there. Wrong one. Oh well. Dude, does the machinist get a fucking mechanized robot as a pal? What the hell? It's probably gonna go to that one, yeah. My favorite song on this entire soundtrack. Don't. Not this time, you little rat. Okay, he's going to that one. He's going to that one. Ha! I read it this time. Except for that bullshit, dude. I'm dead. Oh my god. I almost died. Oh my god, the machinist gets a fucking robot pal. That's so sick.
Good work.
I didn't know that.
The access hatch is head inside.
The healer just got 2 pieces. What the hell, man? Because if this gear actually turns out to be as good as the Tombstone Mathematics gear, then and it looks better, then I'm just gonna go with that. I'm just gonna stick with this gear, but who knows? I doubt it's as good. It's probably just slightly under. Because it's, you know, obviously, if they made this gear just as good, then grinding for the tombstones really is completely pointless at that point. And people would just not waste their time. So it's probably only slightly better than this gear.
Everkeep's construction was apparently a constant battle against the rising water level. Even during the war, the people labored to maintain the castle.
Look at that. Those 3 were going down. It just looked like I was bringing up the rear. Like I am the captain. I got interrupted. Wrong button.
So, you have come. Let us measure your strength.
Shut up, Calyx. Pussy.
That was hardly a challenge, I see.
I already got these, so...
You will show me more.
Damn.
I bid you press on.
Come on. You know, it's really bullshit that the casting armor is always, like, the last to actually show up. It's really fucking annoying. That happened in other dungeons before, where it's like... the casting armor never showed up, but then somehow I ended up getting it anyway. Like, they just gave it to me as a concession. Because they knew how... like, that's how they delivered it or something. I don't know. It was just fucking weird. Like, I wouldn't see any casting armor drop the whole time. And then by the end of it, I'd check to see if I had anything new. And what do you know? I've got my armor. It's sitting right there. Made no fucking sense. I'm like, I didn't see any of this drop. I didn't vote on any of it. Roll on it, so it's very odd. I mean, that's what it felt like anyway, is that it was just a concession. They gave it to us anyway because they knew how shitty of a drop rate it was or something. I don't know. But like I said, maybe that was just the way they decided to deliver the casting gear set, which is like dumb, but whatever. Try not to use my Bahamut summon. Use it for the last boss. At least I'm, you know, doing damage. Or I guess I won't be saving it for the boss, because the boss is... I think the boss was right here,
You
but...
are untroubled thus far. But
Oh, yeah,
I have
there we go.
something that may test you yet. This machine has long guarded these crumbling walls.
I gotta watch the face of that damn thing.
How will you handle this?
Dude, is it the same thing every time? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that takes up a lot more than I thought it was going to. That was dumb. I should have known better than that.
Introduce more weaponry.
It's like a full floor panel size or width. I have to remember that.
Let us see what this is.
Nope. Not this time. I was watching. Dude.
Perhaps a new approach to assess your adaptability.
That's gonna go right there, yeah.
Still alive. How unfortunate. For you to die here, it would save me trouble later. I'm beginning to understand how you were able to defeat Queen Eternal.
Wow. That was pretty good, but not effective at all. Limit break is pointless at this level. They need to do something about that. They gotta make it more important at some point. Come on, let's beat it before this. We have to deal with this shit. There you go. Whew. I nailed it. I nailed it. Damn. Why the healer? Why does the healer get their gear set, but I get nothing? Alright, we're getting used to it. So, as I suspected, I just need to get used to it. You know, the mechanics. They were definitely a challenge to start. I don't think we have enough time for one more, though. So we're gonna have to call it here. But that's okay. You know, I think pretty overall successful night. I mean, we got, hold on, let's take a look real quick. We got 250 out of 450, so we only did it 5 times. We only need to do it 4 more times, and I've got the total for this week. But now we have another gear set to actually work towards while we try and work towards that gear set. I mean, there's gear sets on top of gear sets on top of gear sets. And it's kind of nuts, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, and I'm good with that. But you know, it's gonna take a while, and I hope you guys will be here along for the ride, because we're about to get really powerful. I can feel it. But that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your attention, your time and attention, as always. I also appreciate your attention. And please join me again sometime this weekend. You know, I'm definitely going to want to stream, maybe. Sunday is Easter, so probably not going to stream then. Might stream tomorrow. We'll see. There are some videos that I really should do. Definitely one of them I want to get done. So that way I can get my thoughts out there. It's actually my thoughts on Marathon, so if you weren't here for that little display of annoyance, it'll be uploaded later on. But until then, I'm Meta Wolf. This is Final Fantasy XIV, and I'll see you guys later.